Over $2,500 spent, 21 different legendaries pulled. We got scammed. I gotta rant, guys. I gotta get something off my chest. I have to unload an annoying burden that is eating away at me in this game. So let's get right into it. I want to start with the disclaimer. The specific situation I am describing is very unique and very Kraken-y. So I'm not saying everyone has to immediately empathize with this, but I do think the tactics and the annoying rates and the trash of the whole situation will be relatable. A lot of you guys can probably think back to some moment where you had this nasty feeling that I'm going to describe here. And if so, let me know about it in the comments. But yeah, let's unpack this. So it has to do with this guy right here, Uzol of the Jade. He's one of the newest champions in the game from the most recent patch. He is a beast. The kit is just beautiful. It is a work of art for Arena and kind of all content. Tons of extra attacks, big AoE, lots of damage increases, ignoring defense, ignoring stone skin shield, block damage unkillable, an amazing passive here. He synergizes really well in a lot of comps, especially with Shuzen, who Larry and I just picked up on this account. And I love the way he looks. I love dwarves, and we were pretty excited about this character. So if you're unfamiliar with the account, this is a pretty major Kraken account. We call it Fastidious. That is Larry plus Fastidious. Larry is the source of this account, the crazy, effort and money behind it. And then I handle the live arena, drive that for him. So yeah, what happened? Well, we got excited about Uzol when he was introduced. Larry got really excited and decided we were going all in for him. And frankly, no big regrets on that front in a vacuum, right? So what happened? I posted this video a couple of videos ago. You can see it here on my channel, Fastidious Gaming. If you're not yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It actually did quite well, guys, so thank you. This is one of my more viewed videos ever in the 3.5 months we've been doing this channel. 57 Sacreds for Uzol of the Jade. We pulled everything, and we did. We had to pull all 57 hunting for him on that progressive chance. I know it's a bad situation with the progressive when it's a non-void event. I actually discussed that at the beginning of the video, and the bad situation fulfilled itself, right? Even after we got to 25x and hammered away at it, we had no luck. We actually had pretty dang good rates. It was a non-2x, no rate up, 57 Sacreds, which is a ton, but we hit 6 legendaries. So over 1 legendary every 10 Sacred Shards pulled. That's a really nice rate. But no, 0 for 6. 6 legendaries, no Uzol. And that's kind of where I thought this story ended. It's just a funny video where we unloaded way too many dollars worth of Sacreds and we came up empty. We had good rates on legendaries, but no rates on Uzol. That was it. However, Plarium decided literally 1 week later to run another Uzol rate up. That's right, literally 1 week later, they reran him on rate up, this time a 10x. But also this time, it was a 2x, so double chances for Sacreds. And God, this left the worst taste in my mouth. I told Larry about it. I was furious. I thought he would be furious. He was furious, but he decided to go all in. And that's why you're seeing Uzol right here. But to me, this was just the slimiest thing. Like, yeah, no one asked Larry to unload. No one asked Krakens to get Kraken-y, but that's what's going to happen. Frankly, these are the best customers that Plarium has, and players like that see the progressive, push it up to 20x, take a bunch of bites at the apple, and strike out. That sucks, but hey, that's par for the course when the rates suck. But then to rerun it a week later with, frankly, a better rate up situation. Yes, it's a lower rate at 10x, but it's a 2x to hit legendary to begin with. And just do that a week later, it just feels disrespectful to the players that are financing the game in a pretty major way. Like I said, I know this is not relatable, but I also wanted to be transparent about what Larry did and what I also participated in and how annoying it is. And there's not so much more to it. I'm going to throw a bunch of numbers at you and stuff and explain everything that happened along the way. But that's kind of the situation, right? It's like, here you got Larry, a beautiful Kraken, certainly in the eyes of Plarium. And instead of creating some game environment where if you pull and pull and pull, you will be rewarded or at least have a really good chance to hit the champion on progressive you're looking for, actually what happens is if it's not a void event, you're probably going to strike out. And then Plarium pretty consciously decides to 1 week later try to milk those unlucky huge spenders drier. because they already milked him dry. They're trying to milk him drier. Fortunately, this is entirely within Larry's means. It really is. People mention that a lot in the comments. Trust me, this guy is good to go, but doesn't mean it doesn't still suck. And I'm going to tell you how much money was spent approximately, and I'm going to tell you how many legendaries it took to get to this point. But the whole thing is an enormous mess in my eyes, and it's just really shady. Yes, it's a bad event. Yes, we knew that. We still unloaded. We struck out, but we could live with it. But then they get real dirty. They run it back a week later. And if it was up to me, we would have not gone for it. But Larry said, we're committed. We're pot committed. We're all in. Let's do it. So let me take you through exactly what happened. It was a week ago, a little more than a week ago now, about 10 days ago. We did these 57 sacreds. We hit 6 legendaries. So that's 6. We'll put a 6 on the screen right now. 6 legendaries, no Uzol. I didn't know this for a couple days, but after I logged out and after I told Larry we didn't get him, Larry took it upon himself to buy more sacreds and then pull a lot of ancients and a lot of primals. He doesn't know exactly how many legendaries he pulled, but he does know he pulled at least 2 or 3 more from sacreds, and he pushed his ancient and his primal progressive to 25x, which means he must have pulled at least 3 on the ancient banner and the primal banner. So that's at least 6. It was at least 2 from sacreds. We'll call it 8 to 10. Let's just average it out at 9. He pulled at least 9 more legendaries that old event, not the 2x by 10x. So that brings us to a grand total. We'll put it on the screen again. 6 plus 9 equals 15. 15 legendaries. 15 legendaries a weekend to go between the pulls I did for him with sacreds and then the pulls he did off camera, and no Uzol, right? So that 25x progressive was the joke to end all jokes. And how much did he spend that first weekend? A lot of those sacreds, it's hard for him to know how much he spent because he had been buying them over time and stockpiling them, and they were part of bigger packs with other things. But, you know, let's say he'd spent about 300-400 before, and then heading into the weekend when he stocked up really high, it was at least another 1,000. Let's call it about 1,500. And that was a big swing and a miss. And then heading into this weekend, he knows he spent another 1,000. So this is something he did without me 100%, but it's something he wanted to do, and he's the one financing this account. I mean, he's the main driver of the account, so I would never get in his way. So it's at least another $1,000. He pulled exactly 50 more sacreds now on the 2x sacred event, so twice the chance to get a legendary, and then the 10x on Uzol, and this was the result. He pulled Roxum, then Alton, then Lanicus, then Calvalax, then Samson, and finally, at long last, Uzol. So we'll put the numbers back up on the screen one more time. That is 6 more. So it was 6, then it was 9, then it was 6. That equals 21 legendaries pulled between the 2 weekends that it took to get this Uzol of the Jade. I don't suggest anyone ever does this. Frankly, I would not have suggested Larry did this. But that was the result, man. We're talking at least $2,500 invested into these 2 Uzol weekends. Pretty crazy, cracking stuff. It took 21 legendaries, so that's averaging over $100 legendary, right? And at comfortably over 100. It could have been a lot more because we don't have the exact dollar amounts he spent on all this, but at least comfortably over $100 legendary, and it took 21 tries to get this guy between 2 different rate ups. So, you know, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this specific situation is certainly not the most relatable, but golly, man, it is. It feels real nasty. The whole progressive rate up system feels like an ultimate scam. And though we know it going in, when it's actually happening, it hits very different. And the fact that they ran these 2 rate up events back to back on a new super desirable hero, yes, no one made us summon, no one made Larry pull, but it just feels predatory and gross. And yeah, I don't expect this video to get a lot of views. It's a very niche, very unrelatable situation, but it feels nasty. And maybe people have other moments to lesser extents that feel like this to them, because it's left a pretty bad taste in my mouth. And I really just wanted to make a video ranting, explaining, and capturing whatever happened for posterity at the very least, because this happened. I'm not happy about it. I know Larry isn't happy about it, and I figured I would share. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Fastidious. Thank you to Mitchell for editing this video. Please do make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And of course, if you don't want to get into even 1/100th of this spending debacle that Larry got himself into with this Uzol madness, use my link to start the game for free. Maybe ride it out free to play for a long time or forever. You get the best start imaginable. You get 4 amazing champions almost immediately. You'll find that link in the top pinned comment and in the description. And I feel slightly dirty promoting the link, but also the game still is great. It's just these little moments, these little sketchy things, these little predatory instances. It makes me feel bad. All right, share it with your mother. She's going to want to know about this, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.